We're going to get you over there. You got some apparatus here. As we head over there, where do students feel that pressure in the golf swing? Is it different for different students, or is it pretty consistent from student to student where they feel it?
Well, I mean, I think it's different from student to student depending on how good they are. Yeah. Right? So if you look at the pressure, really, the average golfer that's coming over the top, right, that pressure that they're putting that pressure into that back leg going back, and they never really get to that pressure in the front leg. So they're pushing hard this way and turning, and that's why you see the over the top, because their left leg's really usually pretty inactive.
Well, I know you got that device there, and that's going to help us. So let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah, so this is just a pressure board. I just built it, yesterday. I went to the hardware store. It's nothing fancy about it. It's just a 30 by 15 piece of wood, and on the bottom here, I just attached another smaller piece of wood in order to make it rock, right? And so as you sit down, this gives you some clues here of what you're doing. As you set up so that if you're going to hit a golf ball, and I like to have my students start without just no club or anything, just kind of putting their body and getting their golf posture. And we'll start with our lead leg kind of pushing down. And then as I go to the top, I go, as I swing back, I'm pushing into this right leg. But I don't stop pushing, right? I'm still pushing, trying to kind of build pressure, and generally you see it on the inside of the trail foot of a better player. And as they get to the top, now they're going to use that pressure they're pushing this way, right? They use that to kind of transfer over to the lead side. As they get down here, that left arm's parallel to the ground, and then now it's really pushing hard through that left leg.
One of the things that I see elite players have in common is, if you go back to that top position again, is they've got all that pressure built up, but it's not outside that right foot or that right knee.
Right.
How do you get students to stay inside that right foot or the right knee?
Yeah, so the good thing about this board, right, so I have the piece of there in the middle. It's kind of sticking out so you can see it. So as they're doing that, I like to try to get them to kind of feel like they're staying there. So as they're pushing this way, right, the direction of the right leg stays angled this way. So as long as they push through like the direction the right leg is, they're actually pushing this way, right? So even though my body, my mass, I'm turning, I'm going this direction. I'm pushing into the ground this direction, which keeps me centered.
Okay, so we got you up on the board. You've got some wedges laid out over here. I'm assuming we're going to utilize these in some way. What you got for us there?
Well, right, so this would be like the second step, right? So if you look at how Justin Thomas was using that lead leg, he would, he'd come down here and he'd really push hard this way. So if you think, if I have something that's really heavy and I get here to the top and I start at this position here, really swinging it down, out that direction, right? It's going down, out, and forward. So I'm going to want to try to push hard with this lead leg in the opposite direction. Swing up. So if I do something with that, like at a heavy, with these three wedges, which are heavy, that's going to really require me to really work that lead leg hard. And like I said earlier, the average golfer who's coming out over the top, when they get to the top of the swing, right, generally you don't see that lead leg really doing much. If they're a good player and they still don't do it, you see a lot of this lateral movement, right? They're using the right leg to kind of push them laterally a lot, as opposed to getting here to the top and using that right leg to kind of rotate them.
Okay, so we've sort of looked at all the different pieces here. Let me grab a couple of those clubs and get you to hit one for us when everything is sort of put together.
All right. So, set up, ready to go. I'm going to shift right to left and really make sure I push hard through that lead leg. Nice and balanced finish.
Yeah, great drills right there. You're not going to hit as far as Justin Thomas, but if you work on some of these things, I guarantee you're going to hit it a little bit farther than what you hit it right now. Great stuff, Todd. And Todd will be back this weekend to teach you a move that's made Jordan Spieth a three-time major champion. To book a lesson with Todd or find a coach near you, go to golfchannelacademy.com.
Many of the great players of all time, like Hogan and Snead, started a takeaway that was dynamic. It went away for a while, but now you're starting to see it resurge with players like Jordan Spieth and Jamie Lovemark. What do I mean by dynamic? Well, as you set up to the golf ball, most players will set up in a very static position with their lower body really quiet, and then they try to turn into like a still right leg. I like to see the takeaway, again, be more dynamic as opposed to static. So as you set up to the golf ball, I want you to feel like your knees are kind of moving to start the swing. And as you do that, you're going to set up and just feel a little forward press. Now, that's a hard thing to implement right away without some practice. And here's a great drill to help you learn to incorporate that. So as you set up, you're going to take the club, hover it above the ball, swing it forward, and you'll see as I swing it forward, my right knee, right hip, and right shoulder are all moving towards the golf ball, opening up to the target. From this position here, I'm going to plant the right foot, and everything's going to move past the golf ball going back up into a good balanced backswing. Then from there, I'm going to go ahead and make my regular swing. So let me show you what that looks like. Set up, hover the club, swing it forward, swing it back, and let it rip. Get into a good balanced follow through. Then when you put the ball down and you're going to hit your normal tee shot, as you set up to it, obviously you're not going to want to swing the club forward, but you still want to feel that dynamic movement in your lower body to start your swing. Do this drill, practice it, get dynamic to start your swing, and you're going to see more powerful and consistent golf shots. Thanks for joining me on Golf Channel Academy. I'm your coach, Todd Casabella. Let's hit that golf ball farther. Usually it's two things that are stopping players from getting their max potential. One is their swing's not long enough, or two, they're usually starting to throw the club too early from the top. This drill is going to help you with both of those problems. So what you're going to do is you're going to get set up in your golf posture, and as you set up, you're just going to take the club and let it rest on the outside of your right shoulder. If you're keeping your elbows pinched together, you're going to turn up to the top, getting your left shoulder behind the ball, extend your arms up, out, and away, wham, let it go and hit it. Now, as you get better with the drill, you're going to set up. As you start to get to the top here, you're going to push out, up, and away and start your lower body at the same time. When you can really incorporate that into your swing, that's when you'll really start to see club head speed start to max out. Give that a shot, and over time, you're going to see a great improvement. Thanks for joining me on Golf Channel Academy. I'm your coach, Todd Casabella. Are you struggling with your chip shots? Fat, thin, kind of contact all over the place? Well, your natural instinct is to kind of get over top of the golf ball, get rigid and not move. Try to kind of keep still and try to do everything kind of with your arms and wrists. This is going to make the problem harder because you've got to find a way to get the speed of the club, and you're going to use your wrists, and that's generally makes it very difficult. What I want you to do is set up, again, ball back in the stance a little bit, and as you swing this shot, go ahead and feel like your right knee is moving forward, left leg's extending, and letting your body just open up to the target as you're hitting these shots. If you do this, the low point of the club moves more forward, and you're going to be able to make better contact more solidly, and you're going to see some consistency in your play.